Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lake Oswego United Church of Christ YouTube channel. I am here in my office today, but I hope you can join us this Sunday at church at 10:30 in the morning, because we don't do church at 10:30 p.m. That would be silly. So join us at 10:30 a.m. at Lake Oswego United Church of Christ, because we're going to be discussing a passage that is crucially important, especially for the upcoming years. It's a passage where Jesus calls his disciples. So, what does it mean to be a disciple of Jesus? It's interesting because Jesus comes up to these guys who are fishing and he says, "Hey, come and follow me." And what do? Well, immediately they drop their nets and they go follow this guy. They even leave their father behind, the text says. So, what is that about? There's something about Jesus. He's charismatic, that they just drop everything in their lives to go follow this guy. Well, we get a hint as to why this is the case in this passage from Matthew chapter 4, verses 12 through 23. It ends with this statement that says that Jesus went around the Galilee preaching the good news and healing the sick and curing every disease amongst the people. This is how Jesus begins his ministry. It's not only proclamation of the good news, it's acting towards the good news. It's speaking and it's acting, and this is what discipleship is all about. His followers look at Jesus, and Jesus says, do what I do, imitate me. And this is an important message for our modern world, because we get this message to be your own person or think for yourself. It's saying you don't need to follow anyone else, just be you. But it's interesting because you have to have somebody to tell you to think for yourself. You have to have somebody to tell you to be your own person, which is interesting because you would just be following their advice. Jesus knew that we are always going to follow someone. And so the point is to be intentional about who it is you're going to follow. And this is so important for us because culture has all of these different competing voices calling us to follow them. We see this in politics all the time. Politicians, we're coming into the age of Trump. And we are going to be having these competing voices saying, follow me. And as we come into the presidency of Donald Trump, it's incredibly important that we know how to make the distinction between the voice of Jesus that calls us to follow him and these other competing voices that say, hey, follow me. Sometimes those voices will align, but Jesus wants us to be sure to be intentional about following him. And what does that mean? It means living into a life where we tell the good news that God is for all of us. Not us and not them, but for us and for them. For everyone. God's love is all inclusive. And you see this in the passage when Jesus goes out to the people, those who are on the margins, and heals them, cures every disease that he has. This is what the love of God is like. And Jesus says, model your life after this. Follow me. So I thought what would be interesting to do with our children is to kind of have a discussion about who the models are in our lives. We have models in our past, mentors, people who have helped form us to be who we are. And who are those people? What qualities did they give to us that have helped us to be better? So those are some thoughts about this passage. I hope that you can join us this Sunday, January 23rd at 10:30 at Lake Oswego United Church of Christ. Thank you for watching. Until then, grace and peace be with you. Bye-bye.